Now, I know that you had mentioned earlier that we should start early in developing some type of financial and also consider legal help to develop a successful estate plan to preserve your assets. What is a good starting point there?
Well, the earliest you can do a plan is 18 years of age. At that point, you're considered age of majority. And I've increasingly have 18-year-olds come in, not because they want to, because for the parents to talk to their doctors, to see their grades at college, need to have that authority. So the parents will send them in to get it. And again, and I have people say, well, I'm young, I don't have any money. I said, well, you've got a body.
Right.
And with the two primary documents are a financial power of attorney and a medical power of attorney, which say if I can't make these decisions, I name someone, my parents, my siblings. And by having that, I mean, we don't know. I mean, again, actuarially, we're a good bet.
Exactly.
But again, I tell clients, I said, pick up the Washington Post and open the obits, and half those people in there did not think that today their picture would be in there.
Exactly. Yep.
And so it's not a matter of if you're going to need it or not. 100% of us will. We're all mortals. But it's the ultimate procrastination. And again, it caused unnecessary heartache, disunity in families when it's not done.
Exactly.
And also, too, people have a fear that it's a difficult process. It's really not. It's getting information. We'll start with a plan, and we can always tailor it later on. Just say, as life changes, we're going to reflect where we are.
Right.
And so and I'm frequently, I'd say, after the clients come in for the first meeting, I said, that's the hardest thing you have to do.
Right.
You're going to get drafts, you're going to look through them. And they're like, well, I put it off for so long. And I said, see, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
And then once they have them, see, because if you have those documents in place, particularly the financial power of attorney, it allows you to do all the asset protection planning that some of which we talked about last time.
That's right.
Which helps you preserve, in every case when long-term care is required, you can save between 40 to 100% if you have the proper documentation in place to authorize your agent to take steps on your behalf to work under the rules Congress created to preserve those assets for the purpose of getting good care.
Now, I noticed you mentioned that 100%. And that was for married couples, to save 100%. When I looked at that statistic, I say, well, is it possible? And then there was another one at 40%. And I say, well, how is that possible for a married couple to save 100% toward the opportunity to have skilled or long-term care? Bill,
here's how that works. See, long-term Medicare, when a married couple apply, they have a process called deeming of resources. They look at your assets, they look at your spouse's assets, and they deem them together. So, and why that's significant is for everyone else, if you give assets away, there's a 5-year look back. But for married couples, they're not. And so in 1988, Congress put in a rule called the Anti-Impoverishment Statute, which said that the well spouse could keep the house, a car, the contents of a home, and up to $120,000, between $20,000 and $120,000 as a community spouse resource allowance, and their income of the well spouse, and that's all exempt. And so what frequently is done, if I'm not well, we take the house out of my name, put it in my wife Kate's name. The house is exempt. And then we take my resources out of my name, put them in her name. And it's not a penalty because it's between spouses.
That's right.
And then we apply.
Okay.
And so, and again, these rules, most people are not aware of them. Facilities are not going to tell you strategies because they make the most money on private pay. The states are not going to tell you because they don't want the liability. So only an educated financial professional, an elder law attorney are going to be able to tell you that these are the opportunities. Because I've had people come and say, well, mother's been in a facility for 2 years.
Well, hold that thought. We're going to take a short station break, and then we'll be right back. Now, I know that you had mentioned earlier that we should start early in developing some type of financial